Good morning, welcome to the Art Money Talk. My name is Mo. Today I would like to talk about how to make more art. Yes, literally, make more pieces of artwork. So you can sell more art, make more money, and expand your market. So many emerging artists friends of mine told me, life is great, I am selling, but the only thing is I don't make enough art. I'm making 1 or 2 pieces of art every month, and I can sell them for $1,500 or $2,500. I don't have enough artwork to be sold so that I can make more money. And all this money will go to my student loan, the rent, cost of living, supporting my family, and buying more art materials. And afterward, I have nothing left to invest in me, to invest in other things in life. So how can I make more art? So the thing is, here I'm going to share with you some of my tips, and those tips are not for everybody. If you are desperate and making more art would really solve your problems in life, that's great. Keep watching this video. If you're very particular about certain things, perhaps your moral standard is very particularly high and you have this very stiff idea of what is contemporary or fine art, then this video is not for you. Take my advice with a grain of salt. My first advice is quite conventional. This one will not offend anyone, is to invest in pro gears, to invest in really good equipment that will save you a lot of time. For example, a fast computer. I was using a MacBook Air before because I was going to school. I need to carry everything in a backpack. I was using a MacBook Air. MacBook Air is a bit slow for photo editing, for video editing. As a content creator, I have to say that it's a good computer, but it was slowing me down. So I have switched to a MacBook Pro, and that's a lot better than a MacBook Air. It has a lot better performance. I'm quite happy with it for now, and it made me a lot more efficient, productive, and faster. So perhaps for you, it's a better Wacom tablet, or it's maybe a better mobile, whatever works for you. Save money, quit smoking so that you are able to upgrade your gears really fast. I'll be making more videos on how to make money as an emerging artist. Perhaps it can help you get there faster. Tip number 2 is a bit sensitive. It's about making more copies. Making more copies? What do you mean? Basically, most artist friends of mine told me they spend a lot of time investigating, researching, and coming up with the original idea to paint a piece of art. But then once they have this idea, they can just paint multiple copies of the same art. But I have 2 groups of friends. One group would say, I will never have more than 1 copy of my original work because that means it's not original anymore. I have another group who would say, well, whichever works, I can print hundreds of copies if I need to. I just need to sell them. If people buy it, why not? But most of the artists would carry out the middle ground. Depending on what mediums you're working with, if you're a photographer, you print out or you hand paint. Let's say, 5 to 10 copies of art, and then you would just mark it with signed, with numbered, with certificate. The rest just go to merchandising without sign, without number, without certificate. So you have like a clear line between what is original works of art and what is merchandising. That's fair enough. I have made a video on the 12-copy law. I will pop in a link here. According to the French law, if you produce less than 12 copies of art, even the same design, the same look, that's okay. They are still considered original pieces of art. However, from the 13th copy onward, you have to put a tag there to say this is a copy, this is a decoration, not original works of art. So I would say no matter where you live in the world, if you don't have a special law regarding to your region, then I would say stick to the 12-copy law. That's a safe ground. My tip number 3 is to make smaller pieces of art. Perhaps you are using certain techniques that doesn't work for you. For example, if you're using stencil or spray, actually cutting these micro stencils is a lot more difficult, or using a spray, you have to mix different like pencils and spray, and special spray head is a lot more complicated for you. But usually, if you are watercolor, acrylic, oil painters, having a smaller work is less time consuming than a larger piece of work. Having a smaller work actually gives you 2 more advantages. Advantage number 1 is that you are expanding your market downward. It means you can sell your art cheaper and you can have more people able to afford to buy your art. Advantage number 2 is that many people are living in the metropolitan, like very crowded cities, in the small apartments like in Paris, in Tokyo, in Beijing. Even they have the money, they cannot carry and fit in home large works. So having smaller works actually make you be able to sell your works cheaper, faster to more people, so that you can make more money and many problems will be solved. Tip number 4 is to use faster techniques. This is again a bit controversial. I know many artists don't like to talk about, what they do with their brush, with their hand, with their brain, with their art. They're like, it's my secret ground. If you are an emerging artist and you're using a very slow technique, there is a problem. It means as an emerging artist, you can only sell at certain price. You cannot go over, for example, $5,000. No matter what technique you use, usually you cannot, go over this emerging artist cap. And there is like a glass ceiling there. So you can only sell, let's say, $2,000, $2,500. That means regardless of the technique you're using, you have to sell at this price. So use faster techniques. You will be able to, when you are established, you meet your market, you dominate your niche, you will sooner or later be able to invest more time in your art and sell it for a lot higher, like $15,000. That's okay. There is a time for it. So right now, adapt to a fast technique, and later in life, you will do whatever you want. Tip number 5, make art everywhere. Yes, I mean everywhere, except when you are under the shower, you can't paint unless you're painting watercolor. When you are commuting to a workplace or to a school, when you are just relaxing with a cup of coffee, carry a little book with you so you can draw and paint, or maybe switch your phone to one with a pen like Samsung Galaxy Note 9. It's very handy, so you can just retrieve the pen and start painting or drawing digitally on your application. Use an iPad or use a Wacom pad, a smaller version, so you can carry absolutely everywhere, and try to utilize little pieces of time, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. We are waiting for someone, always draw and paint. Perhaps you cannot sell those works because they are very small or they are very fast, but don't worry, you'll be able to use them. Maybe you can use them in a project in the future, or perhaps you can sell them on social media, or maybe just do a lucky draw so that your fans can have a piece of your art, so that you are like building a closer community with a lot of personal touch and a lot of love. A lot of times that we are wasting our times when we are between things. So it's very important to build those habits so you can utilize the micro times you have and to be more productive. So now you have heard my 5 tips on how to make more art. Perhaps not all of these tips are good for you. So take the tip you want and leave me a comment below if you feel that you have other things to add or you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.